Welcome to another episode of Next Chapter Retirees. This is my final interview for the year 2025. I have a great interview scheduled today. I'm here with Doc today, and we're going to talk about his journey to retirement. Doc, thank you for accepting my invite and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
I understand that you also have a YouTube channel, and I would like for you to tell the viewing audience a little bit about, your channel so folks can get in contact with you as well and watch your content.
Well, thank you. I am Fire with Dr. Ninja Turtle. Fire is financial independence, retire early. So I have a similar channel to yours about retirement. But also, yesterday I hit 1,000 subscribers.
Wow.
So I am on my way to monetization.
This is my second full month being on the channel and interviewing great guests like yourself. I don't quite have 1,000 subscribers yet, but I'm working my way there. And with the help and support of YouTubers like yourself, I'm sure that I'll get there. Okay.
Well, yes. And I want to say that it took me a while to get
Yes.
to 1,000 because I'm retired and I'm doing YouTube as a retirement project, not as a job. And so the one thing you're going to hear from me today is that YouTube is not another job for me in retirement.
Sounds familiar. So let's get started with the questions. What was your profession and when did you retire?
Well, my profession was information technology. I was a database administrator and a systems administrator for the federal courts. And so I ended my career at the Court of Appeals in Washington, D.C., which is just below the Supreme Court of Washington, D.C. And so we have a lot of our judges go into the Supreme Court.
Wow, that sounds very interesting. I also retired from Washington, D.C. In fact, based on the location you just told me, I was probably 5 blocks away from you. I was the chief of police at the United States Government Printing Office, which is now the United States Government Publishing Office. So, small world.
Yes.
You mentioned IT. What motivated you to choose that career field?
Well, before the internet happened, this was years ago, and the internet was just getting started. I started in information technology. I used to fix copy machines, but I wanted to get into a more lucrative future field. And so I started studying Linux and Red Hat.
Wow.
And so, just by coincidence, when I got the job with the federal government, they were just switching to Red Hat Linux, and that was my career.
If you were to look back, what would you do different in terms of your path and your plan for retirement?
Well, if I were to do anything different, I would have saved more in my government retirement account. I did not have the money to save more. But if I had the money to save more, one of the things that I did that was wrong was lifestyle creep. I bought a brand new car and a brand new motorcycle thinking, this is the life of a federal government employee. See, I did not realize that the federal government can downsize.
When you say federal government account, we're talking the Thrift Savings Plan?
Yes.
Again, I'm a federal retiree as well, very familiar with TSP. Before you pulled the trigger, so to speak, to retire, did you have any fears or any concerns?
Well, I retired really on a quick decision, right? I was in a toxic workplace. And so what happened was I said to myself one day, do I have enough to retire? And what I did was I did the government's early delayed retirement plan where I stopped a year and a half before I turned 60. So I believe in early retirement, but I stopped at 58 and a half. I did not get my pension until 60, and I had to pay my own health care through the National Science Foundation for a year and a half, and I had to pay the federal government's part of health care so that I can keep my health care throughout my retirement.
What accomplishments are you most proud of? So, let's say over your career, if you were to look back, do you have anything that stands out in terms of accomplishment, or it could just be something that you are proud of in terms of your career?
Well, I will say that I'm most proud of going to college and getting my PhD.
Yeah.
That's why I'm Dr. Ninja Turtle. I teach in colleges, which is, as an adjunct allowed me to retire early from the federal government.
Good.
I increased my income at colleges so that it matched my federal income, so that when I decided to pull the trigger, I was still making the same income as my federal income.
And that's impressive. Very good. So now we're going to fast forward and you're into retirement. How has your daily routine changed since retirement?
Well, I have to tell you, retirement is fabulous.
Yeah.
I do not like getting up early and going through that traffic from Maryland to DC. It would take me an hour and a half to go 15 miles.
Been there,
So
done it.
that's, yep, three hours a day in traffic. I don't miss it at all. I moved to Alabama where I have very little traffic and I almost don't drive my car at all except to go visit friends.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that's changed for me is I drive all over the country now,
Yeah.
just visiting people, and that's a beautiful thing about retirement.
That's actually something that I shared with my viewers in one of my earlier videos is when I retired, again, being a federal employee retired, I traveled a lot for over the years for work, but I enjoy now packing up my vehicle. I live in Florida and like I'll drive to, let's say, Georgia. I've got friends and cousins there and I'll stay there for, let's say, a week. Then I'll drive to, let's say, like New Orleans, right? I have friends there. I'll stay there for a week or two. I did a road trip, so to speak, and I went as far as California. But again, I was stopping along the ways, and I didn't have that thought in the back of my mind. No matter where I go or how long I stay, I don't have that thought in the back of my mind that, hey, I got to hurry this trip up to get back to go to work. So I wouldn't say that I do enjoy driving now and taking those road trips. So very good.
Well, I love it. And because I teach online at colleges, I can teach from anywhere. So I'm getting ready to go to Hawaii for the first time in a couple weeks. And I have classes starting just before I go to Hawaii.
Yes,
So I'll be making money while on vacation in Hawaii.
I like that. I like that. That's a good life there. So you teach now. So how do you stay active and engaged since leaving the federal workforce?
Well, I like to exercise, I do yoga and meditation. And on top of that, my wife and I have a puppy. And so I am out walking my puppy all the time. And my puppy is the star of my YouTube channel.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're staying active in terms of walking and exercising. Again, that's another video that I discussed on my channel, the importance of being healthy, staying healthy as a retiree so we can enjoy what we call these golden years. So kudos to you, Doc. What do you enjoy now that you couldn't enjoy when you were in the workforce?
Well, even though when you have a lot of time with the federal government, you have 5 weeks of vacation a year,
Yep.
now you have even more vacation. See, so like you said, driving around the country, I've driven around the country for a month and a half twice,
Yeah.
where I've driven to California. This summer, I think I'm going to go to Washington State and visit grandchildren. And this is what I'm saying is you get to choose and design the life that you want.
Do you have any new hobbies or activities? I know you talked about driving a little bit, but since you retired, have you taken on any new hobbies or activities?
My hobby is motorcycling. I
Yes.
have been I rode with the Buffalo Soldiers when I was in Maryland. And so I ride my motorcycle for charity.
Wow.
And I used to ride my motorcycle all over the country,
Yeah.
but now I only ride for charity here in my local area. So my thing to do is community service.
Wow.
That's what I really believe in. So my YouTube channel is not for money. Every penny from my YouTube channel goes directly to help the homeless in my community.
I like that, and that's a noble thing to do. So, again, kudos to you. Okay. So, next question is, what is it that you like most about retirement?
Financial freedom. I have increased my net worth in retirement. A lot of people spend down their retirement or they think that's what retirement is they have their 401k, their TSP, and they just spend it down. I have increased my income and increased my net worth in retirement through real estate investing.
As a new YouTuber, I scoured YouTube. I found great people like yourself, and a lot that you talk about on your channel is the financial aspect of retirement, investing, etc. Could you talk a little bit about that now?
Well, yeah, I will tell you that. I'm sorry. Okay. I will tell you my story, which is that I was homeless after getting out of the army at the age of 25. And so I started from a homeless shelter and rebuilt the wealth that I have today. So my goal is to help other people build wealth and retire early.
So, if you don't mind, like, how long were you homeless? Was that the DC area, or was it different location in the country?
Yes, I'm from California. So originally. So no, I was homeless in California. And really, it was the month of January because it sort of happened almost basically today that I became homeless. And this was 39 years ago. So during the month of January, I was sitting in a homeless shelter. So I never want to forget what it's like to be 25 years old sitting in a homeless shelter.
Thanks for sharing that with us, Doc. And now, do you have any videos on your channel that tells your story, basically from military transition to homeless as well?
I do. My very first video that I did, I wanted to tell my story
Good.
because I thought this is my way to get on YouTube. And so, as you can tell, I'm a nervous YouTuber. I'm an old guy,
Yeah.
but I'm learning to have fun by doing lives every single Friday. Now, my lives are at 10:15 a.m. Central Standard Time every single Friday.
That's one heck of a story from military to homeless. So, again, thanks for sharing that with us. You said military. Uh, just by chance, were you able to, uh, let's say, like buy back your military time and incorporate that into retirement, or how did that work for you?
Yes, I did. When I first joined the federal courts, and here's the story of how I became a federal employee. I was living in Vermont and I was in IT and I was working for a company and they laid everyone off in the middle of December. And so here I am in Vermont in the snow looking for a job. And I found this job with the federal government. And I stayed there and retired. But yes, I bought back the 4 years of my military time. So I only really did 18 years with the federal courts.
A lot of my buddies, a lot of my friends, former coworkers, we did just that. So that's one of the things that I talk to a lot of the younger generation about, especially, if they're veterans or if they're active duty. Because I look at it as a benefit, right? Like, especially, you appreciate and you understand that later on down the line in terms of your career. So that's something that I definitely share with a lot of people. And by the way, thank you for your service, Doc.
Thank you. So
Okay.
I wanted to mention that I went through a downsizing with the federal government back in 2010, 2011.
Yep.
And during that downsizing, a lot of federal employees lost their job, but I was demoted. Now, when I was demoted, I went from a GS 13 to a GS 10. I was really demoted and it hurt. However, that motivated me to start working on my PhD.
Very good.
See, I had two master's degrees when that happened. And so I got my PhD, which allowed me to increase and get that income back that I lost during the demotion.
What wisdom would you give someone approaching retirement? They could be 3 years out, 5 years out, they could be 10 years out. Looking back on your career, what wisdom would you share with the viewers?
I would say use the internet that you have today to have multiple streams of income. See, we didn't have this way back many, many years ago, but the internet today can give you multiple streams of income so that you're not just relying on your retirement savings.
Thanks for being on my channel. Thanks for the great content. that you post. And I'm happy if you ever need me on your channel, and if I can help in any way, please reach out to me, and I will certainly put my face into place.
Well, thank you, thank you. And if you're ever available on a Friday morning, I know it's 11:15 in the morning your time,
Yeah,
but because you're retired, maybe you can make my live, and we could do a collaboration on one of my lives.
consider it done. I will certainly be in touch. And again, being a retiree is not a problem. Getting up early to watching your live, so I can certainly make that happen.
Well, thank you so much for this interview.
Okay, thank you, Doc. This is my last interview for 2025. I hope the year has been a good year for my viewers. It's been a good year for myself. I met new people, new YouTubers like Doc, a few others, and I hope the 2026 year is good for everyone as well. I'm always looking for people to interview, to be on the channel. If anyone out there is comfortable, you can reach out to me at nextchapterretire@gmail.com. Or also you can go to YouTube. I'm at Next Chapter Retirees Untold Stories. So until the next time, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you tune in to the next video.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.